I died choking on my own blood in the trunk of a rented Lincoln, the tires screeching as it plunged off the Golden Gate Bridge into the fog-shrouded bay below. The last face I saw was my father's, twisted in a smirk that said he'd finally won. His text from my graduation day echoing in my skull, "Don't expect help." And then, the CFO's call about the IPO surprise that wasn't a windfall but a noose, framed embezzlement. Whispers of suicide to cover their tracks. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my 22-year-old body on that sun-baked Stanford quad, cap and gown itching like a bad omen, heart pounding with the knowledge that I'd relive it all to make them pay. The confetti was still falling, sticky with cheap champagne, when my phone buzzed in my pocket. Class of 2018. Future tech wunderkind Claire Hargrove. Surrounded by hugs and high fives from kids who'd peek at middle management. I ripped off the mortarboard, my dark curls tumbling free, and glanced at the screen. Dad, don't expect help. You're on your own now. The words hit like a gut punch. Same as before, cold. Final. From the man who'd ghosted every milestone since Mom's overdose when I was 10. Back then, I'd laughed it off, texted back a defiant emoji, channeled the rage into code. This time, I stared at it.
Bilirsin.
Because I knew what came next, the call that would launch my empire and seal my grave. It rang before I could pocket the phone, a known number. But I knew the voice. Claire, it's Marcus Hale, CFO at VentureForge. Huge congrats on the degree. Listen, we've been tracking your app prototype from the hackathon. That AI-driven fintech thing? It's gold. Meet me in the city tomorrow. We've got an IPO surprise that'll make you a billionaire by 30. His tone was all honeyed ambition, the kind that masked the viper underneath. In my first life, I'd bitten, dropping everything for that meeting in a Soma loft, signing away equity for mentorship. 5 years later, that surprise turned into sabotage. Cooked books, my name on forged transfers, a board vote to oust me while Dad, turns out, a silent investor, cashed out and vanished. This time, my thumb hovered over decline. But revenge wasn't a button, it was a scalpel. I answered, voice steady as steel. Marcus, let's talk terms first. I don't sign blind. The fog rolled in off the bay that night as I drove my beat-up Civic south on 101, the radio blasting some indie rock anthem about rising from ashes, ironic, since I'd already burned once. Palo Alto lights blurred into San Francisco's neon haze, and I gripped the wheel tighter, replaying the endgame in my head. The trunk. The bridge. Dad's smirk as he whispered, "You were always too much like your mother, dreams bigger than your britches." He'd funded Mom's delusions back in the day. Some half-baked wellness startup that tanked, leaving her spiraling into pills. I'd pieced it together too late. His tough love was just control. And when I built EchoFin, my app that democratized micro-investments for gig workers, he saw another threat to his real estate empire. Marcus? The snake he'd planted, siphoning funds until the SEC raid, painted me as the villain.
My death.
Suicide, they called it, after planting evidence of depression. Bullshit. I was pushed, literally and figuratively. I crashed at a Fleabag motel off Van Ness. The kind with threadbare sheets and a neon sign flickering, no vacancy, like a bad joke. Sleep didn't come easy. Flashes of the bay's icy grip haunted me. Water flooding lungs that weren't mine anymore. But morning brought clarity. Step 1. Play along. But wire the traps. I met Marcus at a uber-hip cafe in the Mission. exposed brick and pour-over coffee that tasted like regret. He was mid-40s, slick hair gelled back, Rolex glinting under the Edison bulbs, peak bro energy. Claire.
Kid.
You're a unicorn. Echo Finn could disrupt Robin Hood overnight. We're talking seed round from my VCs. Fast track to IPO in 3 years. He slid over a term sheet. Dense legalese hiding the poison pills. Board seats for his cronies. Veto on my decisions. Last time, I'd skimmed it. High on validation. This time, I flipped pages slow, feigning newbie awe. Looks solid. But why the rush? And what's Dad's angle? He invested? Marcus blinked. Caught off guard. I wasn't supposed to know about the wire transfer from Hargrove Holdings yet. Your old man?
Just a favor to me.
Family ties. You know.
Lies.
Dad hated me succeeding without his strings. He confessed it in that final shove. Reeking of scotch. I smiled. All teeth.
Cool.
But I want a forensic audit baked in. No surprises. His laugh was forced. Adam's apple bobbing. Paranoid already? Relax. We're partners. Partners. The words soured my coffee. By noon, I'd countersigned with clauses that'd choke him if he twitched wrong, non-competes. Transparency mandates. Step 1 locked. Word spread fast in the Valley's echo chamber. By week 2, Echo Finn had buzz. Beta users raving about the app's algo that predicted gig-side hustles with eerie accuracy. I rented a co-working space in Oakland, gritty, diverse. Worlds from the Palo Alto polish, hiring devs from community colleges. Not Ivy drones. Maria, my first engineer, was a single mom from the Excelsior with a knack for blockchain. Jamal, a Howard dropout turned coder, handled UI like poetry. We coded through nights fueled by taqueria burritos and Red Bull, the office humming with beats from Kendrick Lamar. But shadows loomed. Dad's text dried up, no more proud of you facades. Marcus called weekly, probing, hiring slow, need intros, translation, scout my vulnerabilities. 3 months in, the first crack showed. An anonymous leak to TechCrunch, Echo Finn's AI biased against low-income users, redlining 2.0, bullshit metric, twisted from our privacy-first data. Stock dipped before we even had valuation. I traced the IP to a VPN in Dad's Miami condo, his retirement pad, where he'd fled after Mom.
Confront him?
Not yet. Instead, I pivoted, open-sourced the algo, invited audits from civil rights orgs. Controversy exploded, CNN panels debating tech for the people or predatory. My TEDx invite followed, but so did death threats from edgelord forums. Controversial? Hell yes. But it buried their narrative. User base tripling overnight. Nights blurred into a grind. My apartment in Temescal, a war room of white bards scrawled with timelines. I'd wake sweating from bridge dreams. The splash echoing. Rebirth sharpened everything. Tastes brighter. Betrayal's bitter. I dated casually, a barista named Theo with tattoos and trust issues, but kept walls high. No one deserved the fallout. By year 1, Echo Finn hit Series A, $20 million valuation. Me at 60% equity. Ironclad. Marcus seethed in board calls. His suggestions landing like wet farts. Claire, you're alienating investors with this equity push. Focus on growth. Growth meaning his pockets. I fired back. Growth for users. Marcus. Or walk. The real venom hit at the holiday party. A forced schmooze at the Battery. Leather club chairs. Whiskey neat. VCs in cashmere. Dad showed. Uninvited. Silver fox in a bespoke suit, arm around a blonde half his age. Claire. Darling. Heard you're making waves. His hug was cologne and calculation. I pulled back. Voice low. Waves you tried to drown last time. He froze. Eyes narrowing. Did I slip?
No.
Just a probe. Always the dramatist. Like your mother.
Mom.
The secret nod. Her overdose wasn't suicide. I'd found the autopsy discrepancies too late. Laced pills. Dad's alibi ironclad. He'd buried it. Painted her unstable to claim insurance.
Custody. Me?
Groomed to fail. Or so he thought. That night, I hacked his emails, old skills from dorm pranks. Amped by foresight. Bingo. Threads with Marcus. Plotting Echofin's soft landing. Force a down round. Blame my instability. Attached. Forge psych evals. Echoes of moms. Rage boiled. But I funneled it. Anonymous tips to journalists. Whispers of Hargrove's shady RE deals. Stocks wobbled. Dad's Miami empire cracked. Controversial move? Leaking to the press without proof, gray as smog. But it forced his hand. A call at dawn. Claire. What the hell? Pull back. Or you'll regret it. Regret. I laughed. Cold. Like you regret pushing me off that bridge? Silence. Then click. Spring brought the IPO push, our surprise. Marcus's baby. Roadshow in Manhattan. Me and Power, heels pitching to hedge funds. Jamal and Maria flanking like sentinels. Whispers followed. Hargrove's kid, troubled lineage. Dad's smear. Subtle. I countered with fire. Op-eds on toxic founders. Vowing mental health stipends for staff. Backlash roared. Cancel Claire trended. Accusations of playing victim. Sleepless. I stared at the ceiling. Theo's arm heavy across me. Babe, you're fighting ghosts. Ghosts with real knives. Summer scorched the valley. Wildfires choking the air as we neared NYSE Bell. Marcus cornered me in the green room Preeringer. Last chance.
Claire.
Resign quietly.
Take the payout.
Or we expose the real you. His bluff reeked. Evidence? Fabricated. Like before. I leaned in. Breath minty. Expose this. I slid a USB. Recordings of his calls. Dad's too. Pulled from planted bugs.
His face drained.
You wouldn't.
Oh.
I would. But not yet. The bell rang. Shares soared 40%. Echofin, $2 billion market cap. Users cheered from food trucks to fintech bros. But revenge simmers. Doesn't boil clean. Dad summoned me to his Sausalito estate, glass walls overlooking the bay. Irony thick. He poured scotch. Offered a truce. You're winning.
Kid.
But blood's thicker.
Blood.
Mom's.
Mine.
I sipped, eyes on the water. Thicker than the concrete you planned for me? He paled. Confession?
Close.
I did what I had to. For the family legacy. Legacy, his greed. The secret spilled then. Halting, Mom discovered his affairs. The embezzlement from her startup, his... Really? Affront. She threatened divorce. He dosed her. Staged it.
Me?
You were next. Too ambitious. Marcus was insurance. Twist hit like vertigo. Mercy flickered. He was broken, Alzheimer's early.
Doc said.
But justice? No half measures. I nodded, left with a hug that burned. That night, I greenlit the drop. SEC filings.
Audio dumps.
Headline screamed. Tech tycoon confesses in daughter's revenge plot. Marcus arrested at dawn. Dad's assets frozen. He called once more. Voice frail. Forgive. I hung up, watching the bridge lights from my new penthouse. Forgiveness? A luxury for the living. Ecofin thrived acquisitions. Scholarships in mom's name. I mentored from the shadows. Scars my compass. Theo proposed on a Oakland rooftop. City sprawling below. Yes, but guarded. Rebirth taught, trust is earned in fire. The bay whispered secrets. But I no longer listened. I'd rewritten the ending, not happy, not tragic. Just mine. The fallout from the leaks hit like a Silicon Valley earthquake, aftershocks rippling from boardrooms to dive bars. My name a lightning rod for every hot take podcaster with a grudge. Twitter, X now. But same cesspool, lit up with Claire unmasked, half hailing me as avenging angel, half crucifying me as ruthless climber. Daughter destroys dynasty, hero or harpy, blared the chronicle. I scrolled through it all in the dim glow of my Temescal loft.
House nothing supti besai me.
His proposal ring glinting on my finger like a question mark. Victory tasted like ash. I toppled gods. But the pedestal was lonely as hell. Morning brought the wolves to my door, literally. A gaggle of reporters camped on the stoop. Mics thrust like bayonets. Claire, was it all a setup? Did you plant the evidence? Flashbulbs popped. A migraine brewing. Maria texted. Office on lockdown. Feds here for Marcus. Good. Jamal followed. Users spiking, solidarity surge. Better. But Dad? Radio silence. His estate a ghost ship under FBI tape. I slipped out the back. Hood up. Uber to a nondescript diner in Fruitvale. Over Huevos Rancheros. I plotted phase 2. Not destruction. Consolidation. Ecofin wasn't just an app anymore, it was a movement. And I'd weaponize it. Back in the office, our Oakland bunker. Murals of fists raised against algorithms. I rallied the team. This shitstorm? Fuel. We're auditing every investor. Open booking the code. No more shadows. Cheers erupted. But eyes held doubt. Maria pulled me aside later. Her braids tied back. Exhaustion etching lines. Claire, you okay? This revenge arc, it's eating you. Eating? Devouring. Nights blurred with what-ifs. What if I'd let the bridge take me? What if Mom had fought dirtier? I waved her off. Just goes.
Chica. Pass the coffee.
The SEC hearings were a circus, marble halls in D.C. Suits droning legalese while I testified in a tailored black sheath. Hair in a severe chignon. Marcus glowered from the dock. Cuffs chafing his Rolex tan. She's unstable. Your Honor, framed me to cover her hacks. The judge. A no-nonsense Latina from Brooklyn. Arched a brow. My lawyer slid the USBs. Gasps rippled. Dad appeared via video. Frail in a hospital gown. Miami's sun bleaching his sins.
I.
Regret. For Claire's mother. Yes. For her, I built her strong. Strong. Code for broken. The gavel fell. Indictments. Asset seizures. Ecofin cleared. But tainted, investors bailed. Valuation dipped 20%. Controversy crested when I went rogue. A live AMA on X Spaces. raw as open wounds. Ask me anything, betrayal. Bridges. The bitch who burned. Listeners flooded. 50K tuning in from Lagos to LA. I spilled measured truths, no gore. Just guts. Dad texted on graduation day, "Don't expect help." I didn't. But I expected better from blood. Trolls bayed. Crying wolf for clicks. Feminists rallied. Smash the patriarchy pipeline. Theo monitored from the wings. Thumb up or down on my barbs. One question gutted. Would you kill for revenge?
Pause.
Legally?
No.
Morally? Depends on the bridge. The twist uncoiled in autumn rain. Sheets lashing the bay as I drove to visit Dad. Hospice now, Alzheimer's gnawing faster than regret. His room smelled of antiseptic and regret, monitors beeping like accusations. He didn't recognize me at first. Eyes milky.
Who? Claire.
Your daughter. The one you pushed. Fragments surfaced, Mom's laugh. A beach in Malibu pre-betrayal. I loved her. Too much. Feared losing control. Control, the secret's root. He'd funneled her startup funds into his flips. Exposed when she audited. They overdose. Panic, lace gin. Not pills.
Me?
Saw you in her, fire. Wanted to douse it. Tears tracked his cheeks. Mercy tempted. Absolve. Let fade. But rebirth hardened me. I leaned close. You killed us both. Echo Finn's yours no more, donated to women's co-ops. His gasp was wind. Forgive. I stood. That's for Mom. Outside. Rain mingled with my own salt. Theo waited in the car, hands squeezing mine. You good?
No.
But closer. Echo Finn rebounded fierce, partnerships with unions. AI ethics board stacked with activists. IPO relaunched. Me ringing the bells solo this time. Confetti biodegradable. Crowd diverse. Gig drivers in vests. Coders in hijabs. Shares popped 60%. I cashed minimal. Plowing back into grants. Media crowned me, redemption queen, but whispers lingered, ruthless. Calculated. Controversial decisions piled. I blacklisted VCs with harassment raps, sued leakers, gray area vigilantism. One night. Post-gala in a Nob Hill suite. Champagne fizzing. Theo proposed again, formally. On me. Marry the mess? I laughed.
Yes.
But trust? Earned daily. Winter brought the final hook, an unmarked envelope at the office.
No postmark.
Inside, a grainy photo me. 22. Graduation quad. Phone in hand. Back, second chances are illusions. Watch your bridges. Marcus. Out on bail? Or Dad's ghost. Paranoia spiked. Security tripled. But sleep fled. I traced it to a burner.
Dead end.
The tension coiled. Every shadow a suspect. Climax crashed New Year's Eve. Our Ecofin bash at the Asian Art Museum. Lanterns glowing like fireflies. Theo and I danced. His hand warm at my waist. When my phone buzzed, unknown. Video link. Heart slamming. I stepped to the terrace. City fireworks blooming bloody. Footage. Dad's room. Empty bed. Then static. A voice, Marcus's. Rasped. You think it's over? He left you something. Cut to a safe. Combo my birthday. Inside, documents, not confession, but leverage. Mom's real will. Hidden, Echofin's seed IP hers. Stolen by Dad. Twist. I wasn't the founder. She was. My empire. Built on her ghost. Rage ignited. I raced to the hospice. Rain-slick roads. Theo yelling from the passenger seat. Claire. Slow. Too late. Marcus waited in the lobby.
Gone.
Free on technicality. Surprise.
Bitch.
Knife glinted. Petty.
Desperate.
Theo tackled him. Chaos erupted. Sirens wailing. Dad? Found hanged in his room. Note. For Claire, freedom. Suicide? Or mercy kill. Autopsy pending. But I knew his final control. Robbing my revenge. The arrest stuck this time, Marcus. Attempted murder. I testified again. Voice steel. He pushed me once. Not twice. Verdict, life. Echofin sword. Rebranded Echo Legacy, Mom's vision manifest. But scars? Eternal. Theo and I wed in a backyard affair. Oakland sun warm. Vows whispered. No more bridges alone. Rebirth's echo faded. But lessons lingered. Betrayal's not blood deep. It's choice deep. I chose fire. Burned bright.
The bay?
Just water now. I'd swum it. Spring thawed the chill. Cherry blossoms dusting Echo Legacy's rooftop garden like reluctant confetti. A year post-climax. And the city's pulse synced with mine. Hustle masking hurt. Innovation over isolation. Theo and I settled into a rhythm, mornings coating with coffee. Evenings tangled in sheets. His steady presence the anchor I'd never sought but couldn't lose. You're healing, he'd say. Tracing the faint scar on my palm, from the bridge grip. Phantom now. Healing? More like armoring. The board meetings droned with metrics. User growth at 300%. Ethics audits aced, but my mind wandered to loose ends. Dad's note. Freedom. Freedom for who? The autopsy ruled suicide. Pills like Mom's. But the safe stocks screamed setup. Marcus sang in lockup, blaming Dad's final gift. Gift?
Poison.
I dove deep. Old habits die hard. Hired a PI. Ex-fed. No valley flash. Discreet digs into Dad's final days. Reports trickled. Nurse payoffs. Visitor logs scrubbed. Then gold. A thumb drive. Hidden in Mom's old locket at the estate auction. Footage grainy nanny cam from his room. Marcus. Syringe in hand. Dad lucid. Pleading, don't. For her.
Hermie.
She'll never forgive. Marcus's hiss. She won't have to know. Euthanasia? Or elimination? Twist within twist. Dad orchestrated his end. Begging mercy from the monster he'd unleashed. To spare me the trial.
The spectacle.
Freedom. From his shadow. Controversy reignited. Leaks again. My PI's trail too hot. Substack screeds. Hargrove air covers up double murder. Protests at our Oakland HQ. Signs waving justice for victims. Not VCs. I addressed it head-on. Presser on the steps. Rain be damned. My father's death? Complicated as family. But Echo Legacy stands for truth. No cover-ups. No kings. Flanked by Maria and Jamal. Now execs. I pledged full disclosure. Redacted footage online. Backlash split. Pundits called it calculated vulnerability. Allies brave AF. Theo squeezed my hand off mic. Proud.
Babe.
Pride swelled. Fragile. Summer sizzled with expansion. Echo Legacy apps in 10 cities. Microloans fueling dreams from Bronx bodegas to Bayview to Carious. I keynote at Collision Conference. Toronto's skyline a blur behind me. Revenge? It's a dead-end algorithm. Rewrite the code. Build. Don't burn. Applause thundered. But Q&A twisted. A grizzled journo. Bourbon breath. You profited off pain your mom's. Your dad's. Ethical? Gut punch. Ethics? Gray as code. I chose users over grudges.
Lies.
Half. Nights. I'd wake to bridge waves. Theo's arms pulling me back. The real storm brewed in fall foliage. Leaves crimson as old blood. An email pinged, anonymous. Encrypted, meet at the bridge. Midnight. Truth awaits. Heart jackhammered. Trap or closure? Theo begged off. Cops. Claire.
No. Solo.
I drove the 101 north. Fog thick as regret. Golden Gate's cables looming like veins. Parked at the Vista. Wind whipping. I waited. Phone torch cutting mist. Footsteps, a woman. Mid-50s. Coat buttoned tight. Not Marcus. Claire Hargrove. Voice, familiar. Smoke-husked. Aunt Lena, Dad's sister. Estranged since Mom's funeral. She nodded.
His eyes wet.
He left this for you. Envelope. Heavy. Inside. Letters. Yellowed. Mom's handwriting. Please to Lena.
Pre-death.
He's changing the locks on the startup. Afraid for Claire. Then Dad's. Postmortem. I ended it to end the cycle. Forgive the unforgivable. The real surprise? Echo Fin's yours by blood, Mom's patent. Filed secret. Patent, the Algo's core. Hers from wellness days. Repurposed for fintech. Buried secret unearthed, my genius stolen. Like her dreams. We talked till dawn. Lena's tears mirroring mine. He loved you. Twisted. Feared you'd eclipse him. Eclipse. The betrayal's core, not greed.
Envy.
Controversial absolution flickered. Release the letters? Public mea culpa?
No.
Private pyre. I burn them at the overlook. Ashes scattering into the bay. Cycle ends, I whispered. Lena hugged fierce. Build on her. Not against him. Winter wrap gentle. Holidays at Theo's family's Queen's brownstone. Laughter thawing frost. Echo legacy hit unicorn status. But I stepped back, CEO to chair. Mentoring full-time. Maria took helm. Jamal on policy. Proposal turned wedding. Small. Castro Street. Vows under rainbow flags. In sickness. In code, Theo quipped. Guests, users. Not elites, gig mom with her kid. Dev with his fiddle. Final twist whispered in spring. Pregnancy test. 2 lines. Life from ashes. I told Theo on the rooftop. Blossoms nodding. A mini rebel? He grinned. Or a bridge builder. Echoes faded. The bay below just home. Revenge? Overrated script. Legacy? That's the hook. I chose rewrite. Dramatic. Disputed.
Mine.
And damn. It fit.